What is going on, guys? My goodness. Happy Saturday night, man. Much love. Thank you guys, as always, for being here already. Excited to be with you again, as always, on this August 12th night. So, similar to what we did yesterday, we are going to start with a mock draft of half PPR 10-man fantasy football 8th pick. We're going to kind of process through that a little bit and then kind of get a grade at the end. Good time. Last time we drafted a couple of solid teams. I think we got a B+ and an A-, if I'm not mistaken. So we did okay then. We're going to try and do it again tonight. Like I said, I'll probably do one or two of those and kind of talk through that process. But I hope everyone's having a great weekend. We're going to mock draft off ESPN, and then we're going to use the football guys analysis. That's typically what I use for rating my team. It's football guys here. It's going to rate my team. Easy to fill out. Basically, we're going to enter league and players myself. At least that's what I like to do. We'll just say pick 10-man crits and then pick 8, something like that. We'll select our number of teams. So we're going to have 10-man league, half PPR. This league does double receiver, double flex. No kicker, no defense. So, you know, if 6 teams make playoffs, you can choose the playoff weeks. Then you can enter your players. So as we progress through and we finish up that draft, we'll enter them in here and then gotta get a score. Basically the same thing we did yesterday. Go from there. So we're gonna use ESPN's kind of standard mock draft. We're just gonna look for a 10-man with slot 8 open. Let's fill up quick. So it fills up real quick, so you can kind of keep looking. Go back there, kind of play that out. So multiple different strategies this year. Many people do running back, receiver, receiver, running back. It's really hard to say this year. This year is kind of one of those ones you just kind of pick the best of whichever position falls to you, I think. So it's kind of hard. Teammate or pick 8 is a rough spot to be, I think. As a whole, there's a lot of decision with that. In the top 4, you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey. You could argue Travis Kelce's in there too. I think Travis Kelce, is top 5. If he falls below anywhere in the top 5, you got to select him. And there's a couple guys low ADP that could be in the top 5 that aren't. There's a lot of discussions to be had there. So 8 seems to kind of fall between Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill on the receiver side, and Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry on the running back side. So we're kind of taking it as a strategy per se. I want to draft one of the top 3 quarterbacks. That's Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen in like the 3rd round if they're there, but they don't make it often. Not snaking back around to pick 8. So typically you've been waiting on a quarterback a little bit. You could take like an early tight end. You might be able to get like Hockenson in the 4th round or something like that. But for the most part, you're waiting kind of on both. So how do you start your initial draft? That's the question. I've been doing receiver. I've been doing receiver, running back, receiver. I've done it all. I've tried it all. They all kind of work about the same. So, you kind of feel what's in the what's kind of coming down the pipes. Now I'm gonna actually bow out of this one. It's my fault here. This is not PPR. This is head to head. So I'm gonna just jump in a new one. We'll get one for PPR here. You gotta double check. They've got the H2H. I always mistake that, but I'm gonna find the one with the PPR. A lot of these, like I said, they fill up quick. So let's see if we can get one that's kind of open. Let's scroll the list here a little bit. Again, I'm looking for the PPR 10-mans. More will open here in a second. Go. Start this one, and this one should Should work better. But like I was saying, what do crits happen? Like I was saying, it's hard to really say, what do you pick first? It always depends on, pick number. Top, first pick is another tough decision to make. You're going to take Justin Jefferson, or are you taking somebody like Christian McCaffrey? I don't think you go wrong with either of those, but again, it depends on what strategy you're going with. Are you picking running back first, you pick receiver first? I have found that there's a few more running backs this year than there are in the past later on. Historically speaking, running back's kind of that prime position that you got to get, you got to get support early. And the receivers you can kind of fill late. I don't know if that's the case this year. I kind of argue the it goes to the opposite, that you want to get a core receiving group and then kind of fill in the running backs later on. But again, depends on what falls to you. This year is going to be tough. I think this might be one of the tougher years of drafting, but it'd be fun. Excited to see that. Quarterback wise, they're going earlier than they ever really have. Typically speaking, they're out of the top five rounds. For example, last year, Patrick Mahomes was taken in the 5th or 6th round of our 10-man. Same with Jalen Hurts, obviously way later than that. But now they're in like 3, 2. Some people take them second round, 3rd round, 4th round at the latest. Chris dropped in to say hello. Good to see you stream. Best time of the year besides Christmas. Free, bam. What's going on, Free? How you been, man? I appreciate you stopping by, and thank you for the kind words. It's always appreciated. I fantasy football season is either A, the season of misery, or B, the season of joy, man. It just depends on how the year's going. But I appreciate you, man. That means a lot. I don't know, man. I've been, like I said, I've been kind of picking all over the board, trying to find out what works. I have found that I have picked better teams when I was able to get one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the 3rd round, but that has rarely happened. So, if you have like a 1 through 5 pick and you get to the 3rd round, you probably have a better shot than 6 through 10. So, take that for what it is. I mean, it's hard to say. You got like Justin Fields, who's later, Trevor Lawrence, who's coming in later, Joe Burrow's still on the board, 5th to 7th round sometimes. So it depends on how you see that. There's always those fantasy quarterback sleepers that kind of come out of nowhere. So it's hard, depends on how you feel. Are you comfortable? Do you want the guaranteed safety net? Like if you pick someone like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, you're going to get a top tier quarterback every week. You're never going to set them. I mean, you're starting them every week. They're going to be in the top 5 every week, no matter what. I mean, it's hard to say. Running back deep this year, I'm looking at receiver, quarterback, receiver, or tight end. Okay. Yeah, we're going to play the board as it falls. You free. That's exactly. I mean, it's hard. I've been going receiver first too. I find that to be a better, I guess, a better outcome. But if like somebody like Christian McCaffrey or Austin Eckler were to fall down that far, yeah, you're gonna take him. There's no doubt. If you get a receiver run, and which has happened, I've had a couple mock drafts that go that route. You take them. I mean, you take them later. But if you're in the the 1 through 5, I'm seeing Austin Eckler and Christian McCaffrey as elite fantasy options. They got to go in the top 4. That's me. But you never know. People play the game differently, that's for sure. And targeting Garrett Wilson in my mock, I think big year with better quarterback. You can't go wrong with Garrett Wilson. I think that's very accurate there, Freeman. But I want to keep one thing I learned about him, because I was kind of doing that same thing. His schedule starts out, I think so the first 6 games are all really good defenses. First game against the Bills. There, I think another against the Broncos, the Patriots, Chiefs, Cowboys, and Eagles. Those are the first 6 games for the Jets. I'm not in that exact order. That's some tough defenses. So, you think about that too. Doesn't mean anything really for elite players. But if you're him or like Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'd probably be more apt to go Amon-Ra St. Brown without Jameson Williams being around for those 6 games. But what does that second half of the year look like? Or the last the last 2/3 of the year look like? Hard to say. But Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, Jamar Chase off the board, 1 through 3. Kind of what you expect. Travis Kelce going 5, Austin Eckler at 4. I'm looking at Cooper Kupp. I hope he falls. I don't know if he will. Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill are kind of my 2 main players I'm getting at 8. But, this has happened quite a few times where they're gone. Bijan Robinson's still on the board. I like Giz Adam. All right, man. Take care. Have fun, dude. Enjoy the birthday dinner. Legend, man. It's good to see it free. I like Bijan Robinson, but I don't like picking him in the first round myself. That's a risk. I think he's a solid player. I'm still gonna go receiver. I'm gonna grab Diggs and kind of see what snakes around. So I'm gonna stick to the receiver pattern. So you see how the runs on receiver. This happens. You can get Bijan Robinson in the second round sometimes. So I might take him there. I might go Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb's a top 3 running back this year with no Kareem Hunt. I like Nick Chubb. I think he's just awesome in general. But Bijan's still there. You can take the risk on a elite running back. Derrick Henry's still available, and we all know how Derrick Henry is. So I'm gonna go half PPR. I'm gonna go with Nick Chubb. I think there's more receiving potential for him this year. I would not, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, Bijan Robinson. You can't go wrong with either of those or any of those either. I'm just, Nick Chubb's just another monster. I think he's a little undervalued in ADP and half PPR. Full PPR, I understand it. Half PPR, that for running backs, it's not always a significant difference if it's not somebody like Saquon Barkley. Tony Pollard would be a good one, but I don't know. I'm expecting a big year from Nick Chubb, but there goes Amon-Ra. Bijan falls to mid-second round. Derrick Henry, AJ Brown going, and Josh Jacobs. You get some auto. The only downside of these mocks, you get some auto picks, so they kind of just pick what's best available. So I'm at Nick Chubb, Stephon Diggs. I'm still targeting a receiver at this point, but if somebody like Josh Allen was available, I'd probably take them. And I'm having an elite start to all 3 core positions. I would do that if he's there. If he is not, then I'm probably going to grab potentially Ramondre Stevenson. There is some scare with that, but I would think about that. So Olave is really good. That's a good wide receiver too. But there goes Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, DK Metcalf. Jalen Hurts would fall here. I'd take him. I would go one of those 3 core receivers or quarterbacks in that 3rd round if I could. There goes T. Higgins. I'm eyeing at Jalen Hurts or Ramondre Stevenson. Jalen Hurts is still available. I'm going to scoop him up here. Another elite play. So elite quarterback, elite running back, elite receiver. And now I'm going to fill in with a best in slot number 2. And right now I'm looking at Ramondre Stevenson if he's still there. Najee Harris I like. Travis Etienne is fine. Aaron Jones is fine. Jahmyr Gibbs could have an outstanding year. Any of those running backs are absolute prime, solid RB2s. I'm good with any of them. What I'm eyeing the most is Ramondre Stevenson. Again, another back out of the backfield who's doing a lot of catching. Joe Mixon, Could get a lot more work now that Samaje Perine is not there. And so I'm choosing between Ramondre Stevenson and Joe Mixon with Nick Chubb. I think Ramondre Stevenson a bit more from a week-to-week consistency basis. Joe Mixon is definitely a more boom or bust player. High-powered offense, you're taking defenses into account. I'm going to pick Joe Mixon. And I'll explain that pick here. I'm picking Joe Mixon there because New England has to face the Bills twice, elite defense. They have to face Miami twice and the Jets twice, elite defense. That's 6 games of questionary, offense from the New England Patriots. But again, the running game is going to be relied heavy on, so you couldn't go wrong there. I did Joe Mixon just because of without Samaje Perine, that passing potential is pretty high. So in here goes, after my pick, Amari Cooper, Ramondre Stevenson goes, Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, Deebo Samuel, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jerry Jeudy, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. I'm looking at Calvin Ridley. It goes TJ Hawkinson at tight end 3. I'd love to have Calvin Ridley. He's gone though. It surprised me. Calvin Ridley, then Dameon Pierce, and then DeAndre Hopkins. There's Rachaad White, who could have a full breakout this year. Miles Sanders could be really good for the Carolina Panthers. Rachaad White's gone. DJ Moore for the Chicago Bears could be elite as long as you get the end zone. Christian Watson's still available. Alvin Kamara, who comes off suspension. I'm kind of leaning more towards my receiver 2, and it's a tough one. I'm probably gonna grab. I'm gonna take DJ Moore there. I don't really necessarily like that for my receiver 2, but the breakout potential is there, and so now I'm gonna follow back with my flex here at another good running back, most likely. If James Conner's still there, I could go that. James Cook could be fantastic this year. Cam Akers could be very good as well. Mike Evans, I'm kind of shying away from just of the quarterback scenario. Mike Williams is always really good. He stays healthy. He's always a great flex player. Miles Sanders, again, a really good player. Christian Watson could be awesome. I know that I am hurting on the receiving end. I know that Christian Watson does a little bit of rushing. I don't know how that'll look. I could go there, or I could go the safe pick of protecting their Bryce Young and grab Miles Sanders, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the safe pick on that one. You know that the Carolina Panthers are going to have to run in order to protect Bryce Young, so I'm good with taking Miles Sanders. There goes James Conner. Justin Fields, again, coming in late. That's round 6. You get a player like that at round 6 is, that's pretty prime. I like that pick. Goes Christian Watson. Now I'm looking to fill my secondary flex. I need help at receiver. There's no doubt there. So I'm hoping to get a receiver here. But if somebody like George Kittle was still on the board, I might go George Kittle at tight end. Fill that slot. Make up with some of that break. There goes James Cook, Andy Johnson, Mike Evans, Kenneth Walker. There goes Kittle and Pitts. Mike Williams is still there. I'm going to grab him. I think Drake London has a chance for a breakout this year. Tyler Lockett's always underrated. He's again underrated this year. Goes Drake London. Terry McLaurin is always great. Again, quarterback questions. Cam Akers, Justin Herbert gone. Goes Dallas Goedert last. I think tier 1 tight end. I think is what is tier 2. So I'm waiting on the tight end position till late. Got my eyes on Mike Williams right now. There goes Tyler Lockett. So I'm gonna grab Mike Williams. Big receiver, down the field threat, touchdown threat all the time. Oh, Mike Williams. Goes Javonte Williams. Great pick. Could be really good this year once he gets healthy. Here goes Trevor Lawrence. I've got 3 running backs, 3 receivers, 1 quarterback. Marquise Brown going. I want to take what's best in slot here. And Deshaun Watson. So Terry McLaurin is still on the board. You could definitely go there. Michael Pittman, Isaiah Pacheco is still up there. Dalvin Cook is still there. We don't know what's going to go on there. Could be a plug and play starter. But I'm going to grab Terry McLaurin. And I kind of healed my receiver woe for a little bit. So, we're looking again best in slot at this point. And my next pick most likely is going to be a tight end. Either Pat Freiermuth, Evan Ingram, or David Njoku. One of those three. Cole Kmet could be really good this year. One of those four is kind of what I'm looking at. There goes Brandon Ayuk, George Pickens, Christian Kirk. If Michael Thomas is still on the board, I'd consider grabbing him here. We all know what Michael Thomas did when he was healthy. He just can't stay healthy, but if he is healthy, he's a wide receiver 1. The upside is just too great there. Other caps that I'm working. MPG, I hope you have a great night. Hour fresh like can Tiff. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much. No worries. Thank you. I consider that. So there goes Njoku. Pacheco, Pittman, Traylon Burks. Goes Dalvin. David Montgomery is a good pick. I'm eyeing right now. Probably Michael Thomas. I think the upside is greater than if I were to grab a tight end here. But yeah, it's a tough pick. So it goes Brian Robinson Jr. Where are we at? Metroy, what's going on, man? There goes Michael Thomas. J.K. Dobbins is gone. We're in round 9. And it's definitely not my best draft, but it's not terrible. I've had worse. What's going on, man? I came here at the wrong moment. Metroy, it's all good, man. It's all good. We're piecing through it. It goes DeAndre Swift, round 9. So, with what's best in slot here, I'm probably just going to grab my tight end and pick up from there. And I'm eyeing that Freiermuth, but Evan Ingram would be fine too, but Evan Ingram's gone. I'm going to grab Pat there. Talking about Michael Thomas like that, I threw up a little bit. My torch just thinking about him, dude. Hey, man, you get him for your receiver 5, you got to take him. I had him last year, and I traded him for CD Lamb. So, hey, at the very worst, he's got good trade potential. That was one of the best moves I've ever made in fantasy. I traded Michael Thomas and Antonio Gibson, I think, for CD Lamb, basically, and it was awesome. So there's trade potential because his upside is so high. Goes Jamal Williams, AJ Dillon. I need a running back here. There isn't a whole lot available. What a bum. Yeah, he's something. I like, out of this list here, I like Khalil Herbert a lot, which is who I'm going to pick. Khalil Herbert is probably going to start for the Chicago Bears, and he's going to be relied upon. Can also catch out of the backfield. I like Khalil Herbert in this instance. I'm going to grab him as my running back 4. Now we're coming back to snake into probably best in slot. Get all the upside on that trade. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, there's some players you just have by having their name can give you a lot more than just being on your bench. It's interesting. But I did play him, though, Menroy. I played him the first couple of weeks, and he was putting up wide receiver 1 numbers. 3 wins in a row that I probably would have lost without him. So, if he's playing, you're playing him. There's, Derek Carr now at quarterback with the Saints. He tends to throw to his tall receivers. and with Chris Olave kind of on the receiver one breakout potential, that leaves Michael Thomas open more. It's hard to say. It'd be a good either way. All right, so we're at the point of, again, doing best in slot. I usually grab 5 receiver, 5 running backs, 2 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks. So we need 2 running backs. Or sorry, 1 running back and 1 receiver. You're gonna kind of take best in slot. I don't think I've ever had him on any teams. I had him the year that he had a great year, and it worked out. I think I want Olave real bad last year. Wanted him, yeah. That'd have been a good pickup. He's solid. I think here, Odell Beckham, Rondale Moore, Zay Flowers has a lot of potential. Samaje Perine, but out of this list, I really like Jerick McKinnon. We know what he can do and what he has done over the course of the last games. I think he comes out of the backfield pretty well. I'm gonna grab McKinnon, and now I'm looking for a backup quarterback, receiver, or tight end. I'm not really sold on any of the receivers I see on the list, but there's a quarterback out here that could have just an absolute dominant year, and that's Anthony Richardson. I like Anthony Richardson's upside as a backup. You stash him on the bench, and he could be a potential league winner in a couple of years. So you play like a dynasty league or a keeper league. Like we play late round keepers. He has potential of being phenomenal. So I like Anthony Richardson. I don't necessarily care for the Colts or like the outlook for their offense, but from a absolute upside, elite upside potential, Anthony Richardson's got it. So again, we're back at receiver, and we need to fill in our tight end. We're just gonna kind of take whichever's best of those. I'm not gonna pick a defense or kicker per se. I would maybe do it here if I were, and get one of the top ones, but I'm not going to because we don't do that in our league. But right here, I'm looking at probably want to grab a tight end or a wide receiver, and I like right here Tyler Boyd as a 5th receiver. Jamar Chase coming off injury last year. T. Higgins can be a little bit injury prone at times. Tyler Boyd plays on a high powered offense. You could plug him in if one of those were to miss time. And I'm going to fill my tight end slot. And I'm going to pick, as a backup, I'm going to go Dalton Kincaid for the Buffalo Bills rookie. He could be great again. It's a tough, that's a tough realm. Worst case scenario, you drop him and grab somebody else, but he could be, a breakout candidate. On a rookie year on a team like that. I'm paying now. Who did you get on the squad? I'll go over it in just a sec here, Monroy. We're gonna go through the grades too, and kind of look and see what the football guys rate us. We'll let this play out and grab the defense and kicker just to complete the due diligence for all the players in here. But they don't play in our league, not in our 10-man. Receiver wise, I'm not as happy as I have been, but I think the starting squad's pretty solid. So I'm just gonna grab Daniel Carlson. I would take the better kicker, and then I would come back and stick onto a Phil or a likely stream defense, just like an overall schedule. Who they play out of their division. Green Bay Packers probably has the better of what's available. Debatable for sure, but I'm gonna just take the Green Bay Packers on that case. You're most likely gonna stream defenses if you're not gonna get one of the top 2 or 3, and you don't even know who those are gonna be typically. But so we're looking at overall squad. Quarterback Jalen Hurts, running back Nick Chubb, running back Joe Mixon, wide receiver Stephon Diggs, wide receiver DJ Moore, tight end Pat Freiermuth, flex with Miles Sanders, Defense Packers kicker Daniel Carlson. The bench fills of Mike Williams, Terry McLaurin, Khalil Herbert, Jerick McKinnon, Anthony Richardson, Tyler Boyd, and Dalton Kincaid. Let's see what the football guys think of it. I don't see this one as my best draft. I don't. There was a huge receiver run, which sometimes happens, and when that does, it can get a little bit challenging. There's a little bit lesser on the receiver side later than I think there is the running back side, because a lot of teams are starting to kind of use that running back look. A fifth one. Diggs. Oh, you know, back in with DJ. I was just about, yeah, I did, and I watched something today there, Monroy. I watched him catch a 62-yard touchdown on his only catch of the game, like his only series, the first catch he's ever had at Chicago. If he's on a team that's gonna be throwing or moving the football, his upside is so much greater. You know, he's had over 1,000. He's had like 4,000 or 5,000 yard season, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 yard receivers with quarterbacks that don't start. So hard to say, man. His upside's there. There's no doubt. He's definitely got upside. Mike Williams, Lauren, and then it was Boyd. Then we got the Muth, and then we picked up Kincaid. I think that's all. We don't need to put in the defense or kickers. An awesome pick then. 4th or 5th round. Yep, I would have got him in the 5th round, I believe. It should have been 5th round. Let's see what they say. So it gave us an A. So it's a good draft, better than I thought. So team to grab quality players at every turn of this draft is rated about an average at 3 core. So it thinks we're better at all positions. They say they like Jalen Hurts, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, Terry McLaurin, Pat Freiermuth, Miles Sanders, and Mike Williams, which have them all ranked ahead of where they're typically being drafted. It's a good sign. You see this line that shows multiple games over 100 points. That's really good. It says with great in-season management, you think you have a 99% chance of making playoffs, 90 with good, and 82 with average. So that's good. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is going to be great. They have him at number 2, number 3, whatever. They have Anthony Richardson actually at number 13, which is interesting. But they like the running backs that we picked. Just Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon. Nick Chubb they have at 4, Joe Mixon at 12. Miles Sanders being a good 3rd running back, and Jerick McKinnon being adequate at 4, and Khalil Herbert looks great at 5th. I kind of reversed that. I might put Khalil Herbert in front of Jerick McKinnon, but either way, they think our receivers are adequate but not great. Stephon Diggs is the 5th, and Terry McLaurin is 21. Mike Williams a good 3rd. DJ Moore, see, they put Mike Williams in front of DJ Moore. I don't think so. I think some of this might still go off of the Panthers, history, but that's fine. And they have some people say Terry McLaurin's up at 17, so interesting. And they like Pat Freiermuth just okay because he's number 8. I mean, you're not going to get any better if you don't grab one of the top few. All in all, that's a good draft. I like that draft. I'd be okay with that being my fantasy team. There's some work that has to be done, but I think with what we have here, if you had like Jerick McKinnon, Khalil Herbert, and Mike Williams on your bench, you could potentially get value out of those players. So yeah, could be all right. I'd be all right with that. All right. So with that, let's do one more A. So we got a grade A on that. Let's go back. So I'd be super happy with that team. Oh yeah, in a 12 man. Yeah, I can see that. Incredibly so. Yeah, exactly. But 10 man, All right, let's do one more. And Roy, did you want me to do one for you on your pick size, or you want me to just do the another 10 man, just see how it goes? See what we have. I go, it's got 8 pick. Same. Just do the 10 man. Okay. Let's see if we can get one that has 8 available. And we'll pick at that one again. That's I have pick 8 in our draft tomorrow night, and so that's why we're practicing a little bit. When we get out of this one, then we'll start doing some different ones. Pro it pack PPR 8 available. Let's do it. Oh, it's not 8 minutes. Hold on. Somebody grabbed it anyway. Let's find one that's shorter. There should be more that kind of generate once they start filling. I don't really want a salary cap. Man PPR. A lot of them are just head to head without that PPR. This one. Kind of coming in here. Oh, I didn't get it? No. Darn it. Alright, let's try it again. Bill, so we're looking for that next wave of them. PPR. And most of these are all filled up, so we might miss the 9 o'clock wave. They do them every 5 minutes, so you get some time. Looks like we might fall into the 9 man. We'll keep looking until that time comes, but try. Got that one. All right, let's try this again. So 10 man PPR pick 8. Again, we're gonna try a different strategy. Last one we did was receiver running back. We're gonna try receiver this one and see how we do. Unless, you know, obviously like Christian McCaffrey or Austin Eckler was to fall down that far, then I would take him. Obviously Travis Kelce makes it that far, you take him. But my hope is that Cooper Kupp makes it down that far. That's the guy who I've been, you know, I haven't gotten often enough for it to be like, yeah, I anticipate that happening. But, you know, the injury kind of scares some people away. The upside is astronomical. He was on a pace for 1,700 yards last year before he got injured. You know, he had like 4 or 5 30-point plus games in his half a year. So I want him if I can get him. There's no doubt I would take him at 8. I hope he falls tomorrow night. I really do. I think he might. But we'll see. Tyreek Hill has kind of been the player that's available at 8. Though I'm not a Tyreek Hill fan personally, you take him on your fantasy team. But, you know, he's kind of the guy that they have slated at 8, who's kind of been falling to 8 recently. So that's been the one I've been getting the most out of the receiver core. I've been going Diggs if he's gone, and that's been working out. But, you know, if all those running back or the receivers are gone, then likely Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, and Derrick Henry are all there. You could go with one of them, but I like the receivers earlier. And personally, was Stafford healthy that whole time? He was. Yep, that time, because they both got kind of hurt about the same-ish time. But yeah, I mean, just the elite upside of Cooper Kupp is just, it's out of this world. I can't remember at what point Stafford started playing it. Well, he's been hurt for years though, realistically. I mean, he's had back issues and all kinds of stuff for a lot of time, even with Detroit. I think he, last year kind of hit the point where he had to sit for it. So he's back healthy this year. There's questions on, is he, they're both a little older. And what does that look like in the league now? But I don't know if I question that duo, really. Some people do. He's the Danny Amendola we always deserved. Justin Jefferson going first. Austin Eckler number 2. Not surprising there. Usually Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Christian McCaffrey, and Austin Eckler go 1, 2, 3, 4 in almost every draft that I do. Occasionally it's Travis Kelce. Bijan going number 4 is not common. That's great news for what I'm about to pick. But somebody's high on Bijan, not Stafford. I like Bijan. It's hard for me to risk that. But, elite upside's there. All right. This is one of those rare scenarios that Travis Kelce makes it to 8. Yeah, you take him. You take him if he falls anywhere past 5. He has as many fantasy points as any receiver in the NFL. He fills up your tight end position. Yeah, you take Travis Kelce. If he falls anywhere past 5, I would get him. So I'm going to grab Travis Kelce. Now, the whole draft idea of grabbing double receiver changes. When you grab a tight end early, you have to decide what you want on the back end. I'm eyeing Stephon Diggs. If Stephon Diggs is still there, I'm going to take him on the backside. If he is not there, then I am probably going to grab, if Derrick Henry's still there, I grab Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, one of those guys. Then you go into a running back. You're a big Kelce guy, always have been, dude. I can't stand. No, I'm not. I'm not at all. But from a fantasy football perspective, yeah, I'll take him on my team, I guess. But this is a tricky scenario. I haven't really been put in one like this. You have Derrick Henry available. Nick Chubb is still there. Tony Pollard is still there. CeeDee Lamb. I'm probably going to grab, in this case, Derrick Henry for the safeness of the run. You can get Nick Chubb there. I picked Nick Chubb number 2 last round, and that's fine. Either one, I think, is fine. I think they're 4 and 5, so you kind of interchangeably go with them. But now that I'm running back Travis Kelce, tight end, I am going 2 receivers next. And I'm not going to be hunting the quarterback. We're looking to get next. I missed that. So that's tough, Monroy. It depends on who's available. You take best in slot, either running back or receiver. I would probably I end up going Derrick Henry, but Nick Chubb would have been fine. AJ Brown's fine there probably. But now I'm looking to kind of snake back to double receiver. I'm not gonna quarterback hunt since I picked a tight end early. I'm gonna have to wait on one of the two if you want to have the others filled out. I guess comfortably. So, second round comes to close after Travis Kelce. It went Saquon, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. Patrick Mahomes went second round, second pick. I don't know about that. I think that's you could have probably got him third. Derrick Henry, obviously, then CeeDee Lamb, Nick Chubb, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, Tony Pollard, AJ Brown, Josh Jacobs, Jalen Waddle, then Josh Allen. So here's where the quarterbacks go, and I'm okay with that. I kind of want them to go, so it leaves somebody like Devonta Smith or Chris Olave still on the board, and enough running backs that I can sneak and get a second running back if I wanted to. And then, we'll have to fight that receiver ground. So then goes Chris Olave. Jonathan Taylor is off the board. I would love to have Jonathan Taylor if I knew what he was doing. If he's going to play, if he's not, where he's going to play, what's he going to do. I wish we had that figured out before our draft, because I think he's an elite pick that's going to fall a lot farther down the list than he definitely deserves. It's just we don't know what he's doing from a playing standpoint. Players that I'm eyeing right now is Devonta Smith. I mean, why not? He just got picked, of course. Somebody had that thought. Mark Andrews going, and now I'm kind of in the, do I pick, DK or T Higgins as a receiver 1, or do I pick another top 10 running back in Ramondre Stevenson or Joe Mixon? Jalen Hurts is still on the board. I don't want to take Jalen Hurts here because you would suffer at one of the positions. T Higgins is off the board. I think you have to kind of get DK Metcalf here and hope that maybe Ramondre Stevenson stays. Najee Harris is still on the board. You could do that. Deebo Samuel, Monroy knows how I feel about that. Jalen Hurts is there. You have to get him, but I can't because I reached and grabbed Travis Kelce. I'm gonna grab DK Metcalf on that one. I'd be paralyzed if what? That's a tough one. I could have easily seen getting Jalen Hurts there. It's just receivers, when they're gone, they go quick, man, and it's hard. It's so hard not to grab an elite receiver. And I don't even know if DK Metcalf's considered an elite one this year. I think he's still going to be good. But if Jalen Hurts were to make it all the way to pick 33 in the fourth round, yeah, I'm going to take him then. I can't imagine that happening. But if he's there, then I'm going to take him on my next pick. So Joe Mixon, Najee Harris. We're one pick away. If he's still there, I'm going to get him. Then I would have gotten DK Metcalf and Jalen Hurts. That'd be interesting. I don't see that ever happening in a real draft, though, but you never know. See what they do here. Hey, Big Debo. Jalen Hurts is still on the board here. 4th round. I'm gonna take him. That's no doubt. It's never gonna. I don't think that's going to happen on a real draft, guys. I really don't. But he's there. I'm taking him. There's no doubt. Wait for your RB2. You'll see, man. I think you'll see what I mean about these running backs that kind of come up later, and I'll explain that. I'm not too worried about my running backs. I am my receivers, but I typically don't ever go tight end, quarterback, both early ever. But that's because Travis Kelce never makes it to 8. In the event that he does, I probably wouldn't go for a quarterback unless one of the top 3 elites fall to the 4th round, and yeah, I probably will. But typically that's not the case. So we're going to play this one out as a different kind of way of picking. I'm kind of best in slot receiver running back at this point. So we'll see what's left here. Aaron Jones went. Calvin Ridley's gone. He's been going way up on the picks, by the way. He used to be like a 7th rounder. Now he's up into the 4th round. His ADP has increased drastically, and I'm on board with that. I think he could be a top 10 fantasy receiver this year. I don't see that out of a foreseeable. I don't see that being an impossibility. That guy is so fast. Breece Hall and Travis Etienne, Jahmyr Gibbs is gone. There's Damian Pierce is still out there. Andrew Hopkins is still out there. Amari Cooper is still out there. Jerry Jeudy could be really good this year. Keenan Allen is still out there. He's top 15. As Keenan Allen just has to stay healthy. But Keenan Allen is Keenan Allen. Catches a lot of balls, a lot of touchdowns in a PPR league. That's something you want. Keenan Allen's going there. All right, Cooper's still there. Again, DJ Moore's still out there. Cooper. Rashad White. So what I'm talking about here, Monroy, they're still down here, still Kenneth Walker, Alexander Madison, James Conner, and James Cook, and Cam Akers. They're all 64 through 69. Those are all really solid RB2s. Like Alexander Madison could be an RB1. Um, James Conner could be an RB1. James Cook, we don't know, but without Devin Singletary, could be an RB1. Cam Akers could be an RB1. Like, there's upside in all of them. So they come kind of later. And that's, you bank on kind of picking out of that pool if you don't draft running back heavy. So there goes TJ Hawkinson, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jerry Jeudy. I'm eyeing at this point. Goes DJ Moore. I knew he'd probably go. I'm probably eyeing DeAndre Hopkins right now. From a receiver perspective, I like DeAndre Hopkins, always have. I still think he's got another year or two of elite play left. And going to Tennessee, where they are going to have to be forced to throwing the football, I would take him. Now, keep in mind, I've got Derrick Henry. So I probably wouldn't get DeAndre Hopkins with Derrick Henry on my team. Had I picked Nick Chubb, I would have gone DeAndre Hopkins here. But since I have Derrick Henry, I'm gonna get the next best in slot, and I'm gonna get Dameon Pierce, who's Houston's running back. CJ Stroud, they're gonna be forced to run. Guy's absolutely ridiculously good. I picked Dameon Pierce there for my RB2. And now I need to get my receiver too. Who's that going to be? That's a tough question. Chris Godwin's there. Christian Watson's still available. Deontay Johnson, who I'm not super high on. Terry McLaurin's still there. Drake London's full breakout candidate. This is why right now I usually go double receiver, because here's the pool I'm choosing for my receiver too. There isn't like a for sure standout. A lot of it's risky. There goes DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Watson. There goes Alexander Madison. I would probably, in this case, I'm probably going to get Chris Godwin. I think he's the download safest PPR player available right here. Mike Evans is still there. I like Mike Evans. I know Monroy does too, but I don't really want to go down that road this year. There goes Darren Waller. I'm probably going to get Chris Godwin here. Another, super solid fantasy. I mean, he ended 18. He missed, a bunch of games last year. So I'm going to grab Chris Godwin here as my receiver 2. I think that still works. It's not my favorite, but it works. So I'm coming back around the snake. We got a long ways to go. I'm coming down here, and I'm looking at somebody like maybe Isaiah Pacheco. If Cam Akers were to stay there, I would go that route. Same with James Conner. Same with James Cook. I don't think they will, but there goes Justin Fields, Alvin Kamara, Justin Herbert's gone. Tyler Lockett, like I've always been saying, I just fail to understand why Tyler Lockett's always so low on the ADP list. The guy, he's like one of the only players, if not the only player in NFL history to have 4 or 5 repeating 1,000+ yard receiving seasons. Like how many times do we gotta get him? I got him in the 10th round last year. He was on my starting lineup every week. So I'm happy with Tyler Lockett as another flex. Very happy with that, actually. You got their rookie, is it Smith? Jackson Smith. He might bite into a little bit of that. I'm high on Tyler Lockett though. Still, I have DK Metcalf, so I can't go him. But if you're in that situation, he's a fine pick. There goes Mike Evans, Mike Williams, Terry McLaurin, James Conner, Kenneth Walker, Marquise Brown, and Kyle Pitts. James Cook, Cam Akers still out there. If either of those two are still there, I'm going to get one of them. If they are not, then I'm probably going to go Drake London. The breakout potential again is there. Second-year player who did fine last year. Quarterback has a year of practice, I guess, under his belt, and going in the next year with Bijan Robinson. Opens the field up for Drake. I like Drake London. Michael Pittman's still there. Anthony Richardson slinging the ball. I like him. But Cam Akers, Brandon Ayuk gone. Leaving James Cook available. I'm going to take James Cook. Sure. Like James Cook there. And now I'm kind of coming back to best in slot. I'm looking for receiver 3, and Christian Kirk is still out there. Again, Drake London. Why isn't Kenneth Walker higher? Injuries, and they drafted somebody to play with him, so he's not a 3-down running back he was last year. I disagree with him being that low. But that's the reasoning. But I tend to disagree personally as well. I don't know. Some of these guys are low. Like, again, Tyler Lockett 75 ranked. I mean, okay, but I just history has shown that he's not. So Dallas Goedert, Michael Thomas, Deshaun Watson, Juju Smith-Schuster gone. Drake London's still on the board. I'm going to get him here. If I didn't have DK Metcalf, I would 100% be taking Tyler Lockett. But since I have DK, I don't really want to have both. So I'm going to take Drake London. And we're going all the way back around. So there goes George Pickens, Trevor Lawrence, Tyler Lockett's gone there at round 8. I think that's really late. If you can get Tyler Lockett in 7th round, that's a good pick. Round 8 is a steal. There goes Christian Kirk. Guys I'm eyeing that are coming up the board here. Johan Dotson could be the receiver 1 from a fantasy perspective on Washington. I like him. There goes Dave Montgomery. I was just going to say him. Michael Pittman. Dalvin Cook, if he's still there, I would take Dalvin Cook with the unknown still. The upside is much greater than the floor, so ceiling obviously higher than floor. I like Dalvin Cook. Pat Freiermuth, Isaiah Pacheco, Traylon Burks gone. Javonte Williams could have an awesome year when he gets back healthy. Another one that I would consider. You can get your backup tight end. I'm not really that sold. DeAndre Swift is still on that list, who could be great for the Eagles if he stays healthy. I know, again, Memroy is high on DeAndre Swift. It could be great if he's healthy. That's the question. There goes Brandon Cooks, Javonte Williams, Dalvin Cook. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba is a good player. I just wouldn't pick him if I have one already. So goes Jackson and Gibson, Antonio Gibson gone. Again, Johan Dotson still on that board. DeAndre Swift is still on that board. I'm probably going to pick DeAndre Swift here. Again, upside potential is just phenomenal. So I'm going to pick DeAndre Swift. He was picked in like the first 3 rounds last year. Just going to stay healthy. He stays healthy on a high-powered offense like Philadelphia. That's a no-brainer, plug and play. So I would pick him to have him stashed on my bench for sure. I am Johan Dotson. There goes J.K. Dobbins, Cortland Sutton. If Johan Dotson's still there, I would probably go him. Jacoby Myers could be really good. He's a PPR machine. But Odell Beckham Jr. is gone. And, Gabe Davis is still down here. This is receiver 4 we're talking about. Gabe Davis could be, receiver 2. Johan Dotson, again, could be as well. You got to kind of decide between the two there. I'm going to pick the offense in this case. I'm going to grab Gabe Davis. The offensive potential of the Buffalo Bills is probably greater than the Washington football team. So, receiver 4 backup, somebody you don't tend to typically going to play unless it's on bye weeks. That's a good fill. Probably going to chase Swift. I don't see why not. He's another one that's low on the ADP list because of Rashad Penny. But I don't see Rashad Penny being anything really outside of a, I need 3-yard player. That's the only way to keep Rashad Penny healthy. Rashad Penny got hurt a lot on the outside, catching passes. in open space. DeAndre Swift is a outside open space player. I very much see Rashad Penny maybe being the first down running back. DeAndre Swift for maybe passing downs. But you know, Rashad Penny getting on. Let's say the Eagles are on the 1 yard line. Who's scoring the touchdown? That's obvious. Jalen Hurts. So you know, even then, you need somebody who's going to get some yardage, and I don't see it coming out of Rashad Penny as much as I do DeAndre Swift. I'm fine with DeAndre Swift as well. But there goes Johan Dotson, Jordan Addison, who's a sleeper, I think, a little bit. Could be really good. Cole Kmet, A.J. Dillon is a fantastic stash. I always get a backup tight end, a backup quarterback. I'm high on Daniel Jones from a backup perspective. I think he's great to have on your bench. He could be a plug and play starter this year. His running ability has improved substantially over the last couple of years, and the Giants are just getting better. So I like Daniel Jones. I don't think he's an elite fantasy quarterback for, you know, starter, I guess, but he's playable. There's no doubt. He's going to give you some duds, I think, though. So you got to kind of go with the flow. But he could produce some big numbers this year. But again, you're looking at him probably for a backup stash. There goes Jacoby Myers, Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, Dalton Schultz, and Quentin Johnson. Kirk Cousins is gone. I'm looking probably at, I have four running backs, 4 receivers. I'm kind of looking at best in slot. And there's a couple guys here that I could take. I mean, Brian Robinson Jr. is still out there. I'm probably going to get him. I mean, we're talking about the starter for the Washington football team. Him and Antonio Gibson kind of, switching roles, but Brian Robinson Jr. is going to most likely be the primary rusher. Antonio Gibson's the primary receiving back. Again, we see that combo a lot, so I'm fine with Brian Robinson as my 5th running back. Now, since we didn't grab the quarterback backup, which is fine because I'm looking at Anthony Richardson, I don't think he'll be there on my next pick. I would want to get my 5th receiver here. Zay Flowers is a rookie, and they need somebody on that team to catch some passes. I think he has the best potential to do so. I'm going to pick Zay Flowers there, kind of as a flyer. So, in that sense, you could pick your backup quarterback, you pick your backup tight end, whatever you want to do. There's guys like Tyler Boyd that are still on the list here. You know, Adam Thielen going to Carolina that are still on the list here. Darnell Mooney, DJ Chark, you know, those guys are still available. So you don't have to grab a receiver in that sense. I got him because of the upside potential. And I have Jalen Hurts, so I'm never going to play somebody else from a quarterback. And I have Travis Kelce, so I'm never going to play anybody else for a tight end unless it's obviously on bye week. They happen to have the same bye week, so I only need one, right? I could not pick any for that sense. I don't have to pick one. You could easily just pick them up on that waiver wire if you have the ability to do so. You don't have to pick anybody. You can absolutely pick another receiver or running back if you see one that you want to get. Kadarius Toney is still on that list. Arguably receiver 1 for the Kansas City Chiefs, not outside of Travis Kelce. You could pick him here. I don't see that being a problem. But I follow kind of the standard. You want to have 2. If Anthony Richardson is still on the board, I will pick him if I can. He just got picked, but I would grab him. I think he's got a ton of potential. But Tua Tagovailoa and Geno Smith, Russell Wilson still on the board. I'm gonna grab Geno Smith as my backup quarterback. I think I traded him last year for Tyler Lockett in one league, and that was fantastic. Now I'm going to get my backup tight end, and I could go with somebody like Tyler Higbee, which is who I'm going to pick, just that is going to produce. I would grab somebody like him, but I don't really need him. I've got Travis Kelce. I'm not gonna need Tyler Higbee. Kind of put him on your bench to stash him there. We don't play tight end or defenses and kickers. I'll pick them, like I said, just for the due diligence of this league for the players in it, but we don't pick them in ours, so I don't really care too much who you get. Now, if we're going to pick Justin Tucker, obviously be number one. Daniel Carson's a great pick. McPherson's a great pick. Graham Gano is going to be a good pick again. Harrison Butker, Jason Myers, Tyler Bass, Young Hao Koo. I mean, those are all fine. From a defensive perspective, 49ers, Steelers, Cowboys, Bills are your elites. Everything after that is kind of streamer, I think. Dolphins are fine. New England's, like I said, fine. Saints are fine. But Jets are okay. I don't know if I like the Jets because of who they play. So, again, I'm a defensive streamer unless I find like the one that's a plug and play, and there aren't a whole lot of them usually. So, Daniel Jones will always be available on waivers. Maybe, maybe not. But, you know, Jared Goff usually is. He got picked here, but he's usually going to be on the waivers. Could be top, 15. Could be an easy fill. Well, there's a couple guys out there. Geno Smith probably be on the waivers too. Could get him. I picked him this league, but good. All right, so I'm looking at Jets defense or a kicker, and like I said, it doesn't really matter so much to me in this league, but I would grab the kicker, and I'd grab Daniel Carlson for the Raiders. He's the best kicker for the past couple of years, and we always get kind of scenario you pick a streaming defense, and just by teams played and schedule, I would pick the Packers just because I know who they play. But you're likely streaming that. Let's finish up and we'll go through our team. So we have quarterback Jalen Hurts, running back Derrick Henry, running back Dameon Pierce, receiver DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin as receiver 2, Travis Kelce, tight end 1, flex at James Cook, the Packers defense, Daniel Carson's kicker, bench players Drake London, DeAndre Swift, Gabe Davis, Brian Robinson Jr., Zay Flowers, Geno Smith, and Tyler Higbee. Let's see what the football guys think of that. I am not as sold because like I said, I don't typically go double or quarterback tight end, but you don't not take Kelce at number 8 if he ever gets that far. He will not in my league. He's going to be picked number 1 overall. I'm fairly certain. So I'm not going to have a chance in him. But if he does fall into your league at pick 8 on a snake, you take him. you take him. Absolutely. We had Derrick Henry, Pierce, James Cook. I picked up Swift. Can't remember, when did you get Gabe Davis? I would have picked him in probably around maybe 10, around 10ish, somewhere around there, 11. DK, Godwin, Drake London. I picked up let's say Flowers, and then was Gabe Davis, and then that should be all we need. Receivers, whoops. Our receivers are not the greatest, but let's see what they say. A lot of that's masked when you get tight ends like Travis Kelce. I gave us an A. So we went A to A here, and that's pretty good. I don't get A's all the time. I usually get about B's and A minuses, but A's are basically as good as you can get in a non-computer draft. So almost all of our games are at 100 or above. That's great. Obviously, we have weakness at receiver position. We knew that. And they like Jalen Hurts, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, James Cook as ahead. Great in-season management is a 99% chance of making playoffs, 90% at good, and 82% at average. That's great. Obviously, Jalen Hurts number 2. He's a plug and obviously you're never gonna not play him. Derrick Henry is good at they have a running back as whole at subpar, but he's ranked 7, and Damian Pierce at 20th. James Cook should serve as a nice, very solid third running back, and DeAndre Swift should be above average at 4, and Brian Robinson is great at 5. You know, some have Damian Pierce at 17th, so that's a good second, RB2. I can see that. I can definitely see that. Starting receivers I think are a little par. Metcalf at 13th, and Chris Godwin at 22. Drake London is average 3rd. Gabe Davis they have as a shaky 4th, and Zay Flowers a little below average at 5th. I disagree with some of that. Drake London is ranked 13th by some. I could see that. He has so much potential on a team that is only improving, and just added Bijan that he could put up. He could put up elite fantasy numbers. I don't see that out of the realm of possibility. I like him. I like him if you can get him late for sure. But this is kind of saying that they have some of these guys ranked ahead of where they are, which makes them fine. Elite tight end Travis Kelce. Yeah, you're gonna be fine. Prove to me that you don't always get A's. I don't, man. I really, really don't. You have to to get an A, you got to have like an absolute dominant elite force. And I picked Jalen Hurts and Travis Kelce. Those are likely what happened to get this team to an A, because you have 2 elites in there. As you can see, my running backs and receivers are not mind blowing from a draft perspective, but they're adequate and they'll do the job. So, it depends on what strategy you're going into with it. But I mean, I take this team as my fantasy team if I could. But good times, man. Good times. Couple more fantasy 10-man half PPR mock drafts, pick 8s. That is going to do it for us on the fantasy football perspective. We're going to jump over to some League of Legends, kind of go into our normal stream style. So we're going to kind of do that. But thank you guys for hanging out, Mr. Monroy. I appreciate it, man, with the game, fantasy football questions. It's always fun. So we'll probably continue to do these throughout the year, or at least some fantasy football talks kind of throughout the year. But that's going to conclude tonight's 10-man half PPR 8th pick selections. 2A teams, pretty solid there. Strategies, going to them with you got to kind of take it as it's handed to you. Travis, like I said, Travis Kelce falls below 5, you probably take him, and then it just blows your receiver, running back, receiver, running back strategies out of the water. But you don't not take him if you had that in mind. You got to grab that elite player. But we're gonna be right back, guys. Going on a quick little intermission as we prepare to jump into some League of Legends. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.